アルベド下がる。ネガティブバースト。
When our beloved anime main characters decide they are done playing with a full squad and just go solo queue on everyone, that unbothered energy makes these moments so hype. Sometimes our protagonists don't need backup, they are the backup. Starting off the list with a bang, when Saito absolutely annihilates an entire army. Now, this fight scene had no business hitting so hard emotionally. This boy went full last stand mode and faced the entire invading army with nothing but his trusty broken sword and a whole lot of willpower. And I believe that this was the moment that introduced all of us to the concept of one versus the world. The man turned a hopeless battlefield into a legend, and the enemy couldn't do a damn thing about it. This entire scene is just beautifully done. Luis.
そんで酸素も悪いけどちょっとイラついてるんで憂さ晴らしさせてもらうぜ。滅びろ。
Shin from Wise Man's Grandchild goes full cheat code mode in this fight against the Tiger Demon's army. I mean, this dude thinks fighting alone against hundreds of demons is a fair fight. That's the kind of confidence that I need in my life. He literally carpet bombed them with magic so overpowered that even the background characters were left stunned. And you know what? That wasn't even his full power. He was actually feeling good after destroying the Tiger Demon's army and a good chunk of that forest. This guy is just naturally cracked.
すっきりした。
これが新ウォルフォード。
賢者の孫にして新たなる英雄の力。
Next up, we have the original one-man army, Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star. Before anime had overpowered protagonists flexing on entire squads, this man was already wrecking entire enemy squads. And when he faced Jugai's army, it was a massacre. These guys thought that they had the numbers on their side, but what they didn't realize was that Kenshiro is the final boss. He's basically a one-touch man. You just cannot outsmart him, dodge him, or even scream before he dismantles you. Please check your faces, guys, because this scene will make your beard grow. It is pure testosterone.
面蔵だ。まとめてかかってこい。続け！奴を囲め！あった！あった！
Moving on, Shiki takes on a horde of apartment zombies with zero hesitation. These zombies might have numbers, but Shiki's speed and precision turn them into mere background noise. She was unstoppable during this fight. The way she cuts through the zombies, seamlessly flowing from one kill to the next, is pure one-woman army energy. This is by far the coolest knife fight I've ever seen, and that I could play over and over again. She even did all that badassery in a kimono. I cannot even describe that kind of greatness. And the animation flexes on most of the action anime today. Coming up next on our list, we have Bucky facing 100 thugs. This is one of those legendary one-man army moments that we just cannot get over. Like, seriously, 100 thugs rolled up on one teenage martial artist, and none of them walked away the same. The way those men couldn't do anything despite having weapons always leaves me gagging, and you would think the rest of the thugs would back off after seeing their friends get absolutely wrecked, but these fools kept coming. That was the biggest mistake of their lives. That's how you know this scene is peak anime absurdity. Bucky just destroys all of them with that smug smile on his face. He was just testing his abilities because he knew some regular training would never get him close to his father. This fight is the pure definition of on-site, and it's the moment that truly cements Bucky as a human hurricane with abs. Okay, now let's talk about the most fire-packed flex Fairy Tail has ever given us. Literally. Natsu Dragneel taking on the Alvarez Empire's army is what happens when you piss off the wrong Dragon Slayer. These guys thought they could overpower Natsu with their numbers. I mean, to be fair, they did have an army, but you see, Natsu's abilities don't care about how outnumbered he is because it just turns everyone in front of him into a barbecue. He demolished the front lines like they were nothing, and watching him solo a military force with that much confidence is one of those, yep, main character energy kind of moments. Also, let's not forget the Alvarez army wasn't some kind of B-tier threat. This was a continent-spanning military force with elite mages, and Natsu treated them like practice dummies. This dude dominated the entire battlefield, and the background music of this fight scene just makes it hit even harder. Spike's one-man army moment against the Red Dragon Syndicate is what peak cool looks like. While the entire Red Dragon Syndicate was up against Spike, Spike had nothing but a single gun to fight back. On top of that, his body was also busted. He still managed to save himself from some serious damage while blowing up those armed men. And man, the whole sequence is just beautiful. They really nailed the ending, like actually stuck the landing, which is rare in anime. You could totally feel the American vibes all throughout, with that smooth noir style and gritty action. I might be looking too much into this, but I feel like it's not an accident that he's blowing up the building behind him as he ascends. He knows how this is going to end, and that he isn't going to need to come back down. Spike really was ending the story on his terms. We now have one of the coldest anime characters against a bunch of bandits in this list. Let's just say these men clearly had no idea what they were walking into. These fools really thought that they had a shot against the man wearing the #2 headband. Like, bro, did they not watch the intro? And my man started annihilating these highly skilled and trained men, all while being high. This man was baking and breaking spines at the same time. And the sheer confidence that Afro radiates makes it one of the cleanest one-man army moments in anime. These bandits came in with numbers, weapons, and backup, and Afro walked away without breaking a sweat. That's what you call main character energy. Annihilation never looked this smooth. Hajime massacring an entire undead army has to be one of the coldest moments in the entire series. Hajime saw them as nothing more than target practice. The Gatling gun that he summoned was already looking so terrifying, but the moment he used it, it destroyed everything in sight. If his classmates kept standing instead of ducking, they would have been mowed down with that gun. Like, bro wakes up every day and chooses violence. Throughout this destruction, it felt like Hajime was just flexing. I love those main characters who don't beat around the bush. No agonizing over whether or not it's right or wrong to end your enemies. They just single-handedly destroy their enemies. Hajime is the prime example of those characters. That look of utter superiority on Hajime is one of the greatest things that I'll preserve in my brain. Hajime did not need to talk no jutsu or use power of friendship, just pure rage. So these criminals had no idea what they were dealing with. From the very beginning, Gabimaru makes it crystal clear that he may look calm and quiet, but the moment someone tries to test him, it is game over. The criminals thought that they could easily kill Gabimaru and get a free ticket to their freedom, but you see, Gabimaru is a one-man apocalypse. What they didn't realize is that Gabimaru isn't hollow because he's empty. He's hollow because there's nothing left to fear. It physically hurts to see this fight because Gabimaru absolutely annihilated all of them. It's a one-man army moment that lets you know real fast why Gabimaru is one of the most feared assassins in anime, and why picking a fight with him is the last mistake you'll ever make.
化け物か。これが伽藍の。
Have you ever watched a fight so clean, so precise that you actually feel bad for the people getting wrecked? Yeah, that's exactly what happens when Thorfinn goes against 11 trained soldiers. Adult Thorfinn might not look it, but bro, young Thorfinn was a menace. He had nothing but revenge and hatred inside of him, and that is exactly what made him a ruthless fighter. The way he slashes those soldiers is so satisfying to watch. You have to have surgical precision in order to pull out something like this, and Thorfinn had that surgical precision. Those poor soldiers did not stand a chance. He could have actually killed more if he hadn't had to jump into the water to grab the head that he brutally cut off. The fact that Thorfinn had nothing but his skill, speed, and instincts sharpened by years of brutal surviving is mind-boggling. Even without killing, Thorfinn is still one of the most dangerous characters in anime. We cannot miss this legendary one on our list. Not just because it features One Punch Man doing his whole usual one-punch thing. The dream sequence where Saitama fights the Subterraneans is the most serious, most action-packed battle we'll ever see him in. And it wasn't even real. This man is so strong that he dreams of being weak. I love the fact that he didn't care that the world around him was crumbling. He just wanted a good fight. But just when you think he's finally met his match, he wakes up and gets jumped by the real Subterraneans, who get deleted instantly. Like blink and you miss it fast. And the animation of this entire scene is just pure eye candy. It's the ultimate one-man army fantasy. Epic build-up, epic action, and then classic Saitama, bored, bald, and undefeated. If we're talking about one-man armies, we have to bring up the King of Chaos himself, Alucard from Hellsing Ultimate. The poor man just wanted to walk around. I've got a feeling if the soldiers didn't shoot him, he would have just walked on. They were the ones who shot him first. Hellsing lesson number 1, stay out of Alucard's way. This whole fight is Alucard unleashing his inner monster in the most dramatic, blood-soaked way possible. The way he massacres those soldiers is just brutal. I just love how he always seems to enjoy this whole thing. He's the very definition of evil and badass. No one in anime makes destruction look this smooth and terrifying at the same time. And that elevator ride down looks as if it's taken souls to hell. Absolutely terrifying. It's that sense of complete psychological and physical domination that makes this one-man army moment so unforgettable. Wang Xiaoshu vs. Sun Jun's gang in Supercube is one of those underdog turns beast moments that hits so hard because it comes out of nowhere. You see, Sun Jun thinks that he can overpower him with the numbers that he's got. He came in with a whole gang, cocky and confident, fully expecting to intimidate Wang into submission. What he didn't realize is that Wang Xiaoshu has hands rated E for everyone, but Wang is not someone anyone could mess with like that. The way he handles those thugs is just clinical. He's just so efficient and brutal. It feels like he's done it 100 times before. The choreography of the fight is incredibly grounded, and the animation is done beautifully. What makes this moment so iconic as a one-man army flex is exactly that it's just one guy who can really throw down when pushed, and watching him dismantle an entire gang is easily one of the coldest scenes in Supercube. Let's travel to the horror world of Chainsaw Man, where Denji absolutely destroys the zombie devil along with his minions. This man literally got chopped up and thrown in the trash, died, and came back just to give the zombie horde the most gruesome group therapy session of their lives. He just goes into full blender mode, tearing through dozens or even hundreds of undead. The way this man fights is just so unhinged. Lesson learned, be afraid of the man who has nothing else to lose, because he will make sure that you do. And that insane laughter is literally the highlight of Denji's character. The whole thing is dark, messy, and way too satisfying to watch. It's really in this particular fight where we get a taste of what the show has in store for us. A guy who has a few screws loose and just refuses to die. This was Denji's real introduction to the world, and he made one thing crystal clear. Numbers mean nothing when the guy facing them is the weapon. Enjoying this video? How about giving it a like and maybe considering subscribing to the channel if you're not a part of my wonderful community just yet. Make sure to click on the notification bell to be updated every time I upload a new video. Awesome, let's check out the next entry. When it comes to vibes that capture a one-person army, Tanya from the saga of Tanya the Evil takes the cake, and then blows it up with artillery. Don't let that tiny, innocent-looking girl fool you. Tanya's got the brains of a military genius and the ruthlessness of a trained killer. Watching Tanya wreak havoc on enemy soldiers is like watching a one-woman storm of destruction. Calculated, cold, and unstoppable. She loves turning battlefields into her playground, absolutely destroying everything in her sight. The way she just brutally killed those soldiers numbers is what makes her so terrifying. To be frank, every anime should also take notes on how to actually animate explosions and how to create those terrifying sounds of bullet sprays. Not to mention, just the overall sound effects in this scene make it so intense. It's one of the coldest moments in the entire series, and we love that unhinged Tanya. Meliodas going head-to-head with the 10 Commandments and 7 Deadly Sins is pure, unfiltered badassery at its finest. Facing off against 10 elite, insanely powerful demons all at once, Meliodas shows exactly why he is Dragon's Sin of Wrath and the captain of the 7 Deadly Sins. What really makes this fight a standout one-man army moment is his insane skill, speed, and raw, sheer power. The guy just does not let up in this fight, and instead keeps on retaliating every time he's attacked. He's not overwhelmed by numbers, he thrives on them. But even though they were too powerful for Meliodas, he did not care and keeps on pushing himself. He actually gave them a tough time while being in pretty bad shape. If that's not next level, then what is? The way Meliodas screams revenge counter just hits the right spots in my brain. Taking the crown on our list with the unstoppable energy and never say die attitude of Asta from Black Clover. Imagine being born completely magicless in a world where magic runs everything, and then deciding to take on an entire kingdom's elite army anyways. That's the kind of crazy that Asta brings to the table. Mad respect for him and his massive swords. The way he tears through enemy after enemy with his anti-magic blades is just beautiful and funny at times. This scene pretty much shows how the sheer power that warriors have can overpower mages with just their brute strength. Words cannot express how proud we feel of Asta. Dude has come a long way and deserves all the love in the world. This fight screams one-man army vibes because it's all about breaking barriers, crushing doubts, and making the impossible look easy. Alone, get ready to see what happens when sheer willpower meets insane skill.
そんなに戦いてんなら俺が全部叩き潰してやるパッシブスキルなんだがアルベド下がるネガティブバースト
Brewing up an apocalypse as part of this list, we have Ainz from Overlord. You just cannot overpower this guy. He is the Overlord for a reason, aka the actual guy the show is named after. He wipes out armies in a matter of seconds, and so when the slain theocracy decides to challenge him, it was the biggest mistake of their lives. Ainz just turned them into dust and made it look so effortless. The slain theocracy was really just asking for a massacre, and they got one. They thought that they could corner Ainz with their trained army, but oh, how wrong they were. They didn't just decide to have a standoff with the Overlord and not expect at least a few casualties, right? Ainz showed them exactly why he's feared in the world of Yggdrasil. When one man holds the power to crush legions, you know you're watching a true one-man army moment.
人が決して到達できない第7位階魔法魔人すら消滅させる神の御業を食らうがいいブラックホール
誰一人逃がさない
「
4514 4803 5500
When Rimuru decides to unleash his full power on the kingdom of Falmouth, things get seriously intense. Fast. That's why this deserves its spot here. You see, these men were all already dead the moment they attacked Tempest. Arguably, they were all dead as soon as the decision to attack was made. Rimuru didn't really kill them, he just helped their bodies catch up to the fact. I love the ruthless efficiency of this entire sequence. Rimuru never seems bloodthirsty or honestly even all that angry until the king addresses him, just cold and uncaring. All those lives were just a means to an end to resurrect his people. Part of me feels sorry for the soldiers getting slaughtered like that, but they came prepared to kill, so they should also be prepared to die. This fight scene perfectly captures how true power looks when wielded with both intelligence and unshakable resolve.
いいか、相手を見て物を言えよ。発言は許してやるが、言葉は慎重に選べ。
Here we have the Goblin Slayer doing what he does best, dismembering goblins while keeping his cool doing it. I mean, have you seen the stuff goblins do to some of the characters in this show? Anyways, in the first episode, we get to see this beast facing a bunch of goblins all alone. Goblin Slayer knows his enemy inside and out, as he quite literally turns them inside out, and he treats every goblin like a pest that needs to be wiped out, no exceptions. The way he moves through the cave, silent but deadly, setting traps and dispatching goblins with precision, shows just how far he's willing to go. His methods are effective as hell. Watching him take down wave after wave of goblins, all while staying cool and focused, makes it clear why Goblin Slayer is the ultimate goblin killing machine. He's the guy that you would clearly want on your side when things get ugly and goblins start swarming.
まず一つ ゴブリンスレイヤー
No one-man army list is complete without Goku, so here we are. There are a ton of moments where Goku single-handedly wrecks armies of enemies, but the one that I love most is his fight against the Ginyu Force. You see, the Ginyu Force had no idea what they were getting themselves into. If they thought their flashy poses could intimidate or maybe even distract Goku, they were absolutely wrong. They never stood a chance to begin with. Even Captain Ginyu could not land a meaningful blow. The whole battle is just classic Dragon Ball Z energy, and fans absolutely love it. On a side note, I wonder how strong the Ginyu Force would have gotten if they had just dropped the silly poses and actually trained seriously with Goku or Vegeta. Talk about all bark and no bite. But at the very least, it made for an entertaining watch for the fans. We also have Ichigo Kurosaki absolutely destroying the Bambis. Yes, those overconfident, stern-ritter girls, but clearly Ichigo went easy on these girls. But seriously, the number of people that should have been one-shotted throughout this anime if Ichigo weren't just such a nice guy is absurd. This fight just shows that no matter how hard you try to overpower this guy with numbers, he'll proceed to wreck you with minimal effort. Anyway, this has gotta be the most aura Ichigo has ever felt with an entrance. The man got bodied by Yubaha just a few episodes ago, and then proceeded to cook everybody once he showed up. The Bambis never really stood a chance. If you want a classic example of an MC who's just a one-man army but still somehow manages to keep his cool, this is it. Showing the ultimate display of raw power, survival instinct, and unbreakable will. It's a brutal massacre where one man takes on an entire army and leaves chaos and carnage in his wake. Guts, armed with his massive Dragon Slayer sword, tears through those 100 men like a force of nature, cutting down everything in his path without a shred of hesitation. Every swing of his blade is relentless, fueled by sheer determination and rage. This is the kind of one-man army moment that reminds you just how unstoppable Guts truly is. And with that, we're wrapping up our moments when anime MC became a whole one-man army, everyone. Feel free to drop a comment under the video with your favorite moment from today's list, or let us know if there were any that you think that we should add.